And there is that chasing group. Teo Gegenhardt with real fire in his legs to try and get back up to Carlos Rodriguez, maybe to see if he can take a play in the final part of this stage, up to the climb of the Fortaleza de la Mota. It's a brilliant finale. I really enjoyed watching you bringing us the commentary of it 2 years ago, Brian, when it was Ethan Hayter winning there. It's a real testy one. It's one where riders, if they go too soon, can really blow up because there's so little momentum on those cobbles up to the finish as well. And it could be very exciting if we see this group contest it. And I'm sure we will. The question is, will that second group merge with them? And then what's going to happen in the run-in? If they all hit the bottom onto the cobbles together in this group, we're going to be set for absolute fireworks. And it will be fascinating to see who copes best with that finale. Let me remind you, just to set things up, the man who kicked all of this off was Matej Mohoric, the Slovenian, for Bahrain victorious, right the way from the start. As soon as the Commissaire's lead car moved away and the flag came in, he was off, and he's still here now, which can't be said for all of those riders who were in the breakaway with him. Once again, Brian, I'm going to give another shout out to Axel Laurence, the Alpecin de Koenig man, who is still in that second group along with Rafa Majka and Teo Gegenhardt. He might get across, and that would be my ride of the day, you know.
See, Mohoric is doing this on his own again, thinking of the stage win. I'd be more inclined that, you know, try and go to Landa or Botrego on the wheel and, you know, put just a big dig in and try and kind of test the yellow jersey out. But it looks as if there's a few riders in here just thinking purely of this stage win. I say that Dylan Towns, he's not put his nose in the wind yet. He's just thinking that he has to save as much energy if he wants to try and beat Pogacar. 8 kilometres to go, 5 miles. It's touch and go whether that group with Teo Gegenhardt are going to come across here. So if there's a lull in the action, why not just test? See Mohoric get land on the wheel, go straight over the top, test them out.
Carlos Rodriguez needs to be a bit careful here, bearing in mind he's the only Ineos Grenadiers rider in this leading group, up against all those Bahrain victorious riders, and he is sitting back, a long way back, and once again there we've seen him close the gap with Buitrago on his wheel as well. Rodriguez is either trying to save himself for the final climb, or maybe he's not feeling quite as good as we might have thought. Once again, he's the best Ineos Grenadiers rider here today, but he is isolated once more. Here we go, Mohoric again! Having set everything up from the start today, no, that's nullified straight away. How much has he got left? How many more times can he do this, Brian?
Well, he's running out of time and energy. But the person that reacted the quickest there was Pogacar. He wants to win the stage. He's up against it. You know, when you're in a situation like this, have a crack. Don't just roll through. If you're trying to win the race, I think there's a lot of indecision here from the teams that are here. Clearly some are thinking about the stage, but overall with Pogacar here, you could possibly steal a few seconds. There's bonus seconds on the line, 10, 6 and 4. Just put in a couple of attacks. Landa's already attacked on the previous climb, and it would be beneficial if Mohoric would drag one of them away. So, you know, let the tactical battle begin, but it doesn't look as if it is.
Rafa Majka just putting the pressure on that second group behind. Looking around that corner, we can see the tail end of the following cars that behind the leading group. That's Damiano Caruso. That is Axel Laurence. Teo Gegenhardt, who was by himself, is following the back wheel of Rafa Majka now. That's interesting, Brian. Rafa Majka, Tadej Pogacar's lieutenant in the mountains, bringing this group across. So he's contributing.
Yeah, he wants to get up there because he wants to help his team leader. If Majka gets up there, 100% Pogacar's going to win the stage because Majka will just ride on the front. But now that Pogacar is on the front, why not just try and attack him? Why not? See what happens. He was very reactive to Mohoric, but you know, you can see Buitrago and Landa talking here. Just test them out on some of these wee inclines. Maybe Mohoric get Landa on the wheel, try and attack, but everybody seems to be rolling through. It's okay for Intermarché to roll through. Dylan Towns, they're thinking of the stage. Same with Enric Mas after disappointment yesterday, but surely there must be some sort of kind of tactical play out here from Bahrain victorious.
Absolutely. With 3 riders in this leading group, if they don't at least get one of them on the final podium today, then something's gone badly wrong. But you could argue that having 3 riders there, if they don't win, something's at least gone wrong. And they've got 3 very different kinds of riders too. Buitrago, who's got the explosive climbing style. Mikel Landa, who's much more of a diesel climber. And then Matej Mohoric, who's like the Swiss Army knife of cycling. He can do absolutely everything. And he keeps attacking too. I would not be surprised to see him do the same thing again. This time, though, it's Mikel Landa out of the saddle, just lifting the tempo go. Last few gels going in for Santi Buitrago as well. I think Georg Zimmermann, who now sits last wheel, can't have too much left. He was swinging as it was. We're coming into the outskirts now of Alcalá la Real. They are on the N432, that well-known road. It skirts southward of Alcalá la Real. They turn off it and they do a kind of loop back on themselves to come in to the base of the climb itself, and that final climb really is going to be spectacular. If this group hit the bottom of it together and they roll onto the cobbles together after the turn through there's a little arch, if I remember correctly, fairly low down at the base of the climb up to the fort, and it is going to be quite some finale. Do not go anywhere. Talking about pressure on Bahrain Victorious, Brian, maybe a little bit of pressure on the two Intermarché Circus Wanty riders, because they've ridden so well to still be there at this stage. Lorenzo Rota having been out there since following Matej Mohoric when he attacked right at the beginning. But it'd be interesting to see whether they've been given instruction on how to play that between the two of them, whether one of them will do a little bit more than the other. They're both they were sitting back a little bit. Zimmermann has now moved through a little bit, the taller rider in the yellow and white here of Intermarché Circus Wanty, as they are this year.
I think everybody has to realise if they come to the bottom of this final climb, Pogačar is going to be favourite. So the only way that they've got a chance of winning is by going on the attack, trying to go solo, or a couple of them getting together. Just rolling through like this is just playing into the hands of Pogačar for yet another win today. I have to say that Dylan Towns he is saving everything. He knows he has to save everything. He's not doing anything at all. He's put himself in the position of this potential stage win. But I think everybody must be realising the inevitable here, that Pogačar is in prime place and he is the favourite for today's stage yet again.
Brian, let's not forget this finale is cobbled. I once had the great pleasure of interviewing the Lion of Flanders, Johan Musea, who told me that if you go into a cobbled section together and the riders are all of a similar ability, look for the guy with the biggest bottom, and chances are he'll be the best on the cobbles. That's what Musea said to me on stage a few years ago, and I guess there might be something in that. Thinking back to last year, Miguel Angel Lopez was great on the final climb, but it's almost as if the cobbles just battered him left, right and centre in a way that didn't to Alessandro Covi. I suspect Alessandro Covi may have a slightly bigger bum, maybe than Superman Lopez, although I don't know. I don't know. Let's see if there's something in there. I'm just thinking about Buitrago, for instance. He's a slighter figure, very good punchy climber, but I just wonder whether on the cobbles of this final climb he might get bashed around a bit more than, say, the likes of a Zimmermann or one of the others here might be. I've chucked my theory out there. I don't expect you to comment on the riders' bottoms. But no,
I'm fine. I don't think Zimmermann will be potentially a stage winner for me. Buitrago, yeah, you're right. A little bit more punchy of a rider. For me, the favourite, hands down, is Pogačar. He wants to win this stage. They pulled out the cars behind, so it's getting closer and closer. But you know, they don't really want Micah. He would just come to the front and ride to keep it together. There was no attacks at all from Bahrain Victorious, apart from Mohoric. I think for me that's a little bit of a mistake in the run in towards this finish. There was a big opportunity there. This man here was isolated without teammates. Now he sees a teammate coming up and he's just going to wait for him.
Yep, good opportunity for Tadej Pogačar to sit up and wait. And he's dropping back in the yellow jersey. Oh, there's an opportunity for an attack here. If ever I saw one, this is an opportunity for attack. Is anyone going to take advantage of this, Brian, in that leading group? There's a lot of nervous faces in there. Looking at the face of Dylan Teuns there, he's put so much into being in this position today. Do not want to mess this one up, but I'm so surprised. Here we go. Here we go. It's going to be Lorenzo Rota who is the first. Oh, no, neutralised straight away. Somebody needs to take the risk and roll the dice right now. Rota's off by himself on that side of the road. Definite opportunity. Rota goes again. Here we go. Lorenzo Rota is following our camera motorbike and he's being followed by Enric Mas. Now, Tadej Pogačar has no choice but to go with this, and I don't even know if the chasing group is quite on yet. They're not. Rafa Majka is doing everything to close the last bit of gap, but he's not managed it yet. 3 kilometres to go. Lorenzo Rota has kicked off. He has Enric Mas with him. Once again, great to see Mas being on the offensive, and it's the yellow jersey who follows, tracked, I think, by Mohoric. Mohoric is absolutely locked on for this stage today, Brian.
I think we've been speculating speculating a little bit, and you know, I've been looking at the team tactics more than anything. The one thing that I have to put in here is you have to have the legs to deliver it, and it looks as if on that showing there, Pogačar is just shutting down everything, and I don't think Landa and Bertrego have got it in the legs there, because it was Mohoric, and he's doing a little bit of riding, he's been attacking, was the rider to go with Pogačar and stay on his wheel. Others didn't.
So let me remind you, the final cobbled climb is the last 800 metres. It's Georg Zimmermann who goes now. The familiar bobbing, ragged style of the man who wears a socks from the late 80s. He's the only one with normal socks on nowadays. Zimmermann has really gone for this. And so we've seen the 1-2 from the Entomarché Circus Wanty riders. But is that it? Is that their end game played out now? I don't know. Let's see. He's got that little bit of a gap in town in Alcalá Real. Let's see who's closing it down. Understandably, I think it's Mohoric by the looks of it, Brian.
Yeah, Mohoric is leading, but on his wheel is the yellow jersey.
Well, that is a big move rolled by Lorenzo Rota. Georg Zimmermann may have now just blown his top at the last. That's probably his last effort, but let's see. He's got Rota behind, who's just regrouping, getting back on top of his breath. There's still an opportunity for another attack here. If they don't want to leave it to the final climb. Let me remind you, it climbs up onto the cobbles, and the climb starts with 800 metres to go. The actual cobbled section is the last 400 metres. Rodriguez giving his bottle to the crowd, or in fact both bottles to the crowd, and he's readying himself for this finale. This is a nice sized group to be going into the finale together. 9 riders. I'm looking to see whether the rest of them, Theo Gegenhardt and others, actually got on, Brian. I just don't think they did.
No, there's a couple of bike lengths they never got on, and I don't think they will. But you know, that was the last road to die for Zimmermann. He knew he had an opportunity, and that's kind of been blown away.
Sorry, Brian. Mohoric readying himself for one last try, one last dig down the outside from the man who started it all at the beginning of the day. He must have started it behind that leading car with the full intent of being here to contest the finish. But now he finds himself in team worker mode. Mohoric knowing perhaps he's got not quite enough left. Now goes into lead-out mode.
Yeah, Enric Mas is just going to try to follow Pogačar, but yeah, Dylan Towns is the man. He has to try and do something, but I just think Pogačar looks invincible.
Yeah, Pogačar looking all likely to get his 3rd win of the week, but who yet has dice to play in here? Who's not done much yet? Why not a Mikel Landa late attack? Here goes Dylan Teuns in the middle. I think Teuns, you're right, has to do something, Brian, because it's such a perfect finish for him, although he has looked very tired. He sits there 7th wheel right now, and look at that block riding up the lower slopes here. We're in the final kilometre. They're not yet onto the cobbles, but it's rough road underneath them too. Rafa Majka never made it on. There's the leaders right in front of him, and the yellow jersey in the middle, Tadej Pogačar, still sitting down. He's the only one at the front there that's still sitting down, and is that ominous? Enric Mas has a look across. Let's see if Mas will take the initiative here. He's got the quality, we know that, the Movistar rider. But look at his face. These riders are working hard. Lorenzo Rota is still there in contention, Brian, as well. Here comes the turn onto the cobbles.
Yeah, this is where we're starting to see the riders kind of striking out for victory now. Enric Mas goes from the front, but you have to think that you know, Pogačar is just sitting waiting to pounce. But it's a good effort here from Mas, starting to distance everybody, but he just cannot get the yellow jersey off his wheel, and now he moves over, and Pogačar just goes straight down the middle.
Is there anyone who's got anything left? Mas is still persisting on the other side of the road there. They're split by the width of these cobbles. Mas up the inside, maybe sensibly there, but it's the steeper line, and the yellow jersey is starting to work his way clear. But what has Enric Mas got left? Mas on the left of our shot. What a battle between these two. He is not giving up, Enric Mas, and if anything, he can hook up with the back wheel of Tadej Pogačar. These two, I think, are going to go to the line together. They're over the steepest section, but the cobbles continue all the way through to the line. They must only have about 100 metres to go, because that is the last of the really steep ramp. Let's see though. Actually, it seems to be going on a little bit longer than I remember from last year, Brian, as well. I'm remembering off the top of my head. Enric Mas is still in contention. Tadej Pogačar knows it too. There's almost something of a smile there. They steepen, 150 to go. I was wrong, it's a little bit longer, but Tadej Pogačar kicks again. This brilliant week of his at the start of the season looks like it's going to keep going in the same way. Here we go. He won on Monday. today on the gravel of Jaén Paraíso. He won the opening stage yesterday, and Tadej Pogačar riding that smooth strip down the middle of the road. He's only gone and done it again. 3 in a row for Tadej Pogačar. What a message to the cycling world that he is yet to lose anything. The only reason he didn't win on Tuesday was because there was no race. Wow. There is nothing they can do about it at the moment, Brian.
No, they can't. You have to have the legs to be able to do it. And unfortunately, they were cut off them yesterday in that finish. And Dylan Towns, you know, he never got the rewards for the big efforts today. I just think there was no tactical movement or anything from, especially Bahrain Victorious. They had the numbers there yesterday. It was always inevitable that when you came to the bottom of this climb, that Pogačar was going to win, and he won it quite convincingly again. Nice to see Enric Mas try there. He had bad luck yesterday, but nobody can stop Pogačar at the moment. Absolutely nobody. And the only way to even try and do it, nobody kind of really tried in the running. Okay, Mohoric was trying to do, win the stage, and that's why he kept on attacking. But tactically, there's big questions out there for some of these teams.
Well, this is the third group coming in on the road now. Remnants of the breakaway too. Davide Base, they're bashing over the cobbles. Really tough finale there. I love that finale, Brian. It's been exciting the last 2 years, and once again it served up a great finale today. Riders here we haven't seen in the back end of this stage, as you say, like Andreas Kron of Lotto Destiny. What a brilliant finale, and it's something which is becoming now a regular feature in the Ruta del Sol. Long may that continue, and you can see why. It looks like an absolute beast, that climb, even just to ride by itself, let alone at the end of this stage. Here we go, seeing it again. And Enric Mas, I'd wondered which one of the Enric Masses we're going to see together, whether it was the hesitant follower or the attacking bravado of Enric Mas, and we saw much more of the latter today. It was a good day for him, and he really did not give up on Tadej Pogačar here. In fact, as he got out of the saddle there, I think he was trying to lift it a little bit more, but if anything, that just pushed Pogačar on one more time. And yet another Pog win this week. 3 in a row, 3 race days, and 3 wins.
Just watch this finish behind Mas. Does he get pipped by Buitrago? 6 seconds, so that'll put him into second place.
Good point, because of course we have those bonus seconds today too. Well spotted, Brian. Yeah, Enric Mas getting second and Buitrago third. By the looks of it, Damiano Caruso, one of those who are going to be slipping down a bit today. Riders moving up, of course, the 2 Intermarché Circus Wanty riders, Lorenzo Rota and Georg Zimmermann, with 2 very good rides today. And in the end, the best of the Bahrain Victorious riders, Santi Buitrago, the Colombian, in third, ahead of Mikel Landa. I said it would be a catastrophe, Brian, if maybe one of them didn't at least get on the podium. Buitrago was that man, but he was in third. And actually, from all the numbers they had and all the hard work that was done, they'll be moving right up on general class, or staying high up on general classification, those 2. And there is that confirmation. They can see the names we haven't mentioned so far. Jack Haig there, but nearly 3 minutes down in 10th, and Sivakov in 9th, Rafa Majka 8th. This is the overall individual after stage 2. This is the general classification as worked out quite quickly after the finish there. Santi Buitrago moving up to second, and Mikel Landa sitting in third on general classification after a big day out for Bahrain Victorious.